Alright, finally able to work on this thing. We gotta take out all these bolts here, these T30s, and then these large bolts, and then have to put the suit on, take the lid off. Clean up some spots for these guys to go on. And then we got to put this on. Get the shiesty, the insulated gloves, face shield, Carhartt boots, the regular welding gloves over top of the insulated gloves. Then you've got your 20 cal flash suit. Once you disconnect each battery, you got to put your insulator plastics on, just so you don't drop anything on them and accidentally arc them. Then you just do here, all the way down, all the way down, and everything will be disconnected. Alright, we got all the bus bars that connect all the batteries modules together taken off. So now each individual battery is down to 30 volts. So manageable, still hurts, but won't kill you. Well, shouldn't kill you. And we're going to be replacing number 7. So number 7 is this guy right here. We put these special tools in here, and then we'll hook up the engine bar, usually for like transmissions or whatever. Go across here, tighten these up, and it'll pull the sealant. So here's set up for this. The bar across, and just use this to pull the battery cell up. There's a paste on the bottom. Okay, so once you get all 4 of these bolts out, you can tighten this up here, and it will release it from the paste on the bottom. You can hear it. So I got the next side, and this one's already lifted out. So once you get that out, they tell you to use a shop crane to lift these up and get another guy to help you. I just pick them up and pull them out. We do have some weights in them, but pull them out. That's it. Then you have to set up this machine here, which balances the new module. So there's a new battery cell module. And this machine brings it up to the correct voltage to match the rest of them. If they're within, if they're outside of 0.1 or 0.2 volts, you'll have an issue. So once that's balanced, you can pull that one out, replace the sealant or the thermal paste with this jig, and then put the new one in. And here's that thermal paste. It usually just comes up. You can get a just like that. Pretty satisfying. It's like Play-Doh almost. Then we'll clean it up and then put the jig in here, and then right before we put the new cell in, we'll put the new paste down. And once you get it cleaned up, put your jig in, and then you got your 2-part thermal paste. Here is the said special gun. Then once you have everything hooked up, of course you're supposed to use a crane for this, but it's not that heavy.
Is this car waiting?
Get these lined up, get the bolts in there, and torque it down. Once you have this thing all the way cleaned up, you gotta replace all the sealant. And this is the tedious part. Then you got to replace these little separator foils. They go in between the battery case and the body of the car. Okay, so we got all the sealant on, everything cleaned up, and now we just need to go around and reconnect all the batteries to each other, and then when they're in series, they're 30 volts each. So add it all together, they end up being around 400. With each battery module connected, we're adding 30. So started down here, that's 30, 60, 90, 120, and then so on. And here's a time lapse of me putting all the bus bars back on, and then once I had all those together, putting the case lid back on. And then once the case lid is on, you're able to take the suit off, and then I started by threading all the bolts in by hand and then going back over them and doing the torque spec. All right, after you got everything torqued, you gotta put this wax sealant back over all these bolts. Here I'm cutting off the head of the old bolts. They're one-time use. and cleaning them up in the grinder. I'm going to use these as alignment dowels when I put the battery case back into the car in that hole. At this point, I use the table to lift the battery case back into the vehicle. Using the cutoff bolts as alignment dowels allows me to do it without a second person watching the other side. Once you get it all the way installed, you put all the 16s in. I'm just putting them in snugly, and then we'll go back and torque it. Alright, battery's in. Just need to do a couple more tests, re-energize it, and hook everything back up.